Hello, welcome to the Python training. Today we are learning about functions in Python. First, let us understand what is a function. Function is a type of subprogram. It performs a specific task. What exactly function contains? It contains set of Python code and will take parameters and returns the value after the calculation or comparison. Now let us understand how to define the function in Python. Whenever you write a function in Python, def keyword should be used. Function definition will start with the def keyword followed by the function name and the optional parameter list. And it will be terminated by colon, and statements will be written one tab inside the function. Coming to the categories of function, there are two types of functions. Built-in function, which is part of the Python programming language. Example, print, import, range, reversed, which we have already used in the previous session. And user-defined function. Coming to the types of function, under the user-defined function category, we have four types of functions. Function without a parameter, without a return type. Type 2, function with parameter, without return type. Type 3, function with parameter, with return type. Type 4, function without parameter, with return type. Now, let us see the example for first type of function, a function without parameter, without return type. Now, let us see the example for the same. So here I have written a function. Whenever you are writing a function, it should start with the keyword def, followed by the function name. In this example, function name is add, followed by the opening and round brackets, parenthesis, and it will be terminated by colon. And the statements written inside the function will be written one tab inside the function. In Python, indentation is mandatory. Therefore, the statements which are part of the function, we will going to write one tab inside. In this example, the function add. So I have declared a two variable and I'm adding the two values, and finally I'm printing the output. Later, after defining the function, how we will going to call the function. So we will going to call the function by using the function name. And always function will be called outside the function definition. Once the function is defined, the function can be called any number of times. Now let me execute the program to show you the output. Now let me explain you the flow of the function execution. When the program starts the execution, it will start from line number 17. From line number 17, the control will go to line number 4, where our function definition is starting. Then inside the function, what all code we have given, all the lines will be executed. After that, the control will come back to the same line or the same line from where you have called the function. And once the function is defined, we can call the function any number of times. For example, in this example, I have called the function 2 times. That's why you are seeing 2 outputs over here. Next, we will move on with the second example. Second example is example for function with parameter, without return type. This is type 2 function. First, let us try to understand the function definition. So we have given the DEF keyword, we have defined the function name, and in this example, function is taking 2 parameters. The 2 parameters will be written inside the round bracket. Later, we will be using those values, whatever values we passed as a parameter, we are using that value inside the function where we are adding the 2 numbers and we are printing the output. Now let us understand how to call the function which takes the parameter. Now, if you outside the function, I am accepting 2 numbers from the user. Later, the user input value is passed as a parameter to the function. So first, when you run this program, it starts execution from line number 11, then 12 and 13 will be executed, where you will input 2 numbers. That value, we are passing it as a parameter to the function. From line number 16, the control will go to line number 4. Values of n1 and n2 will be copied to the variable num1 and num2. Values will be added and finally the sum will be printed as a output. Or we can also call the function directly by giving the values. When the line number 17 is getting executed, the control will again go to the line number 4. 3 and 4 will be copied to the variable num1 and num2. Then we are finding the sum and we are printing the sum. So now let me execute this program and we will see the output. N value, I am giving n value as 7. So n value, n2 as 5. So we are getting the output as 12. The second output is 7 because we are passing the value 3, 4. And also we need to understand here the definition for what is parameter or the argument. It's a value passed into the function from outside, or while calling the function, we call it as parameters or arguments. Now we will go with the example for type 3 function. A type 3 is function with parameter with return type. So now let us try to understand the example. So where I have defined a function called product, so which is taking 2 parameters, A and B. Later inside the function, I'm finding the product of 2 numbers by multiplying A and B value. Output, I'm storing it in the variable product. Now, since it is a type 3 function, we are not printing the output inside the function. So instead of that, the function will return the result value by using the keyword written. By using the keyword written, so we are returning the result value as output. Now, let us understand how we will going to call this function. I am accepting 2 numbers from the user for A and B, and I am calling the function. Whenever you want to call the function with parameter with return type, we can call the function in 2 different ways. This is the first method. You can see in line number 14. So I am calling the function. I am passing A and B value as parameter. From line number 14, the control will go to line number 4. Then we are finding the product of 2 numbers, and the result value will be stored in the variable prod. From line number 6, the product value will come back to line number 14, and it will be copied to the variable P. And later, we are printing the product of 2 numbers. We can also call the function in another way. how you can call it in another way. So you can call the function directly from inside the print function. So here I am calling from line number 19. I am calling the function directly. Again, the procedure is same. Control will go to line number 4, and then we are finding the product of the two numbers. And again, function will return the result value. So that will be directly printed in line number 90. So when we should use the method 1 approach and when we should use the method 2 approach, let me explain you. If you want to use the result value written by the function in any other calculation, or you have any intention to reuse the result value, follow the method 1 approach. If you want to simply print the output, the result value as output, you don't want to reuse the value, then you go with the method 2 approach. Now we are moving with the type 4 function. So what is type 4 function? It is a function without a parameter with return type. So in this example, I have declared two functions, defined two functions, getX and getY. So if you see the function definition, so my function is not taking any parameter, but it is returning the value. So where in the using the getX function, I'm accepting X value from the user, and the same X value will be written as an output. Similarly, I'm using the function getY to accept Y value from the user, and again this function also is returning the Y value as output. Later, we are calling the function in line number 20 and line number 23. Whatever the value that is written by the function getX and getY will be stored in the variable x1 and x1 and y1. Later, we are printing X value and Y value as output. Now, let us run the program and see the output. So I am typing X value as 5, so Y value as 7, so it is printing Y and 5 X value and Y value as output. Now for function 3 also, so I forgot to show the output. So now let us see the output. So you can see the product value.